My name is Emily Carter. I'm 28 years old, and for as long as I can remember, I've been the one who quietly held my family together. I'm the dependable daughter, the one who never says no, the one who sacrifices. My older sister, Olivia, has always been the shining star, the charismatic, adored, picture-perfect daughter who could do no wrong. My parents bragged about her endlessly, while my own efforts barely earned a nod. For years, I sent money home to help cover my parents' medical bills. Rent, medications, insurance, expenses they couldn't handle on their own. They never thanked me because they thought it was Olivia footing the bills. She let them believe it. No, worse, she encouraged it. She wore the halo that should have been mine. At first, I didn't mind. I told myself it didn't matter who got the credit, as long as Mom and Dad were okay. But slowly, invisibility began to eat away at me. Watching Olivia bask in praise for sacrifices she never made while I skipped meals to send money it burned. I kept quiet, though. That's what I always did. Until one night, I opened my bank app, staring at the dwindling numbers. Rent was paid, bills were covered, but I had nothing left for myself. That's when something in me cracked. I decided to stop. No warning. No announcement. Just silence. And that silence was about to shatter everything. When I stopped sending money, I expected the fallout immediately. A call from my mom. A text from my dad. Maybe even Olivia trying to cover her tracks. But nothing happened. Weeks slipped by in eerie quiet. My parents laughed on the phone, thanking Olivia for her sacrifices. My sister posted rooftop cocktail photos on Instagram, her life as glossy as ever. Meanwhile, I held my breath, waiting for someone, anyone, to notice. Then, the cracks started showing. My mom's voice trembled when she mentioned a late hospital payment. My dad sighed heavily about overdue insurance notices. Olivia? She stayed silent. Not once did she admit she wasn't paying. Instead, she let the suspicion swirl, as though maybe some glitch had happened with her account. I wanted to laugh. I wanted to cry. The guilt, though, it clung to me. Every time my parents sounded worried, my stomach twisted. Even though I wasn't responsible anymore, I still felt the crushing weight of their struggles. Years of carrying that burden had conditioned me to feel responsible for everything. The real breaking point came one Sunday. My mom's voice snapped through the phone, sharp with frustration. "Emily, your dad's insurance is overdue again. Did something happen with Olivia's account? She said she's been handling everything, but things keep slipping through the cracks." For the first time, I heard doubt. Real doubt in her voice. It would have been so easy to scream the truth. It was never Olivia. It was me. But instead, I swallowed hard and whispered, "Maybe you should ask her directly." It wasn't the confession they wanted. But for me, it was the first small rebellion. And rebellions have a way of growing. The weeks dragged on, and with each one, the silence between truth and lies grew heavier. My mom called more often now, her voice tight with worry. "Olivia says she's working on it, Emily," she muttered one evening. "But the hospital keeps sending notices. Your father cannot miss his treatments. Do you understand?" I understood. Too well. But the unfairness of it burned through me. While my parents panicked over unpaid bills, Olivia's Instagram sparkled with rooftop brunches, spa selfies, and designer handbags. She played the part of the perfect daughter online, while behind the curtain, the foundations of her lie were crumbling. Each photo felt like a slap, and each phone call from my mom pushed me closer to snapping. Then came the dreaded family dinner. Mom insisted we all sit down and talk things through. I knew what that meant. Olivia would charm her way out of any responsibility, while I sat there like the invisible daughter, nodding along. But this time, things didn't unfold as expected. Halfway through dinner, my dad, usually quiet, reserved, looked Olivia dead in the eye. His voice cut through the clinking of silverware. "You've been handling the payments for months, Olivia. So why can't you keep up?" The color drained from her face. For once, the mask slipped. She stammered something about unexpected expenses and a temporary setback, but the crack had shown. Before I could savor it, my mom jumped to her defense. "She's doing her best, Robert. Don't attack her." Then her eyes turned sharp, landing on me. "Maybe it's time you step up, Emily. You don't do anything for us as it is." The words hit harder than any slap. My hands trembled under the table, invisible no more. Something inside me was about to erupt. Her words echoed in my chest like a cruel verdict. You don't do anything for us as it is. For a second, I couldn't breathe. Years of sacrifices, late nights tutoring, skipped vacations, empty cupboards, dismissed as nothing. And the worst part, Olivia sat across the table, refusing to meet my eyes. Her silence was deafening, her guilt written across her face, but she didn't speak. Not one word. I could have stayed quiet, like always, swallowed the pain, nodded, and let them believe the lie. But something inside me snapped. My voice shook, but it carried. That's not true, Mom. I've been helping. I've been the one paying those bills for years. The table fell silent. Forks paused midair. My mom scoffed, shaking her head. Don't be ridiculous, Emily. Olivia has been paying. She's kept this family afloat. You've done nothing. Her words cut deeper than any knife. I looked at Olivia, praying she'd finally speak up, finally admit the truth. But she sat frozen, her lips pressed tight, her eyes downcast. Then, with a trembling voice just convincing enough, she said, "What's wrong with you, Emily? Why are you making up lies? You're just jealous Mom and Dad appreciate me." The room tilted. My hands gripped the edge of the table to keep steady. "I have receipts, Olivia," I snapped. "Bank statements. 3 years of them. Do you really want me to show everyone right now?" Her mocking laugh sent shivers down my spine. "Receipts. You're desperate. You're bitter. Admit it, you just can't stand that they love me." My mom nodded in agreement. My dad stayed silent, torn. I realized then I wasn't just fighting Olivia. I was fighting years of being invisible. And I wasn't about to lose. The air around the table was suffocating, thick with disbelief. My parents' eyes burned into me with suspicion, their loyalty firmly chained to Olivia. And she, my perfect sister, leaned into it like she always did. "If you were really paying, Emily," Olivia sneered, her voice sharp, "why stay silent for 3 years? Why wait until now, conveniently when you want credit? You think that makes sense?" Her words dripped poison, but my parents nodded, swallowing every drop. My pulse pounded in my ears. Because I wasn't doing it for credit. My voice cracked but didn't break. I did it because I wanted to help Mom and Dad. I didn't think I needed recognition for doing the right thing. But you? I jabbed a finger toward her. You let everyone believe you were the savior while I starved myself to keep this family afloat. Olivia's laugh was cruel, mocking. "Starved? Please. You're so dramatic. If you really cared, you would have told them sooner. But you didn't, because you liked playing the martyr." My mom's face hardened, her arms crossing. "She's right, Emily. It doesn't make sense. Why would you stay silent if you were the one helping? It feels strange." The doubt crushed me. Years of proof, years of sacrifice, erased with a single shake of her head. I turned to my dad, my voice trembling. "I can show you everything. Every transfer. Every receipt." But Olivia leaned in, her voice trembling just enough to sound genuine. "She's lying. She's trying to make me look bad, Dad. That's all this is. Emily's jealous, and she can't stand that you're proud of me." Her fake hurt was a dagger in my chest. And the worst part, they believed her. The room buzzed with doubt, every breath heavy with judgment. My mother's eyes burned with disappointment. My father sat in silence, torn but hesitant, like speaking up might shatter the fragile image they had built around Olivia. And Olivia, oh, Olivia, sat there with that smug, trembling smile, the kind that dared me to keep fighting. I wanted to pull out my phone, slam my bank statements on the table, and scream, "Here, look, 3 years of proof." But suddenly, I realized something. It wouldn't matter. Proof wouldn't change the truth they chose to believe. They needed Olivia to be their golden child, their perfect savior. And me, I was their dependable background character, useful only when silent. My chest tightened as I rose from the table, my chair scraping loudly against the floor. Every eye turned to me. "I'm done," I said, my voice shaking but firm. "If you're so determined to believe her lies, then fine. But I won't waste another second fighting for recognition you'll never give me." "Emily," my dad started, but I cut him off. "No. For once, I'm choosing myself." Olivia scoffed, arms crossed, like I was being dramatic. "Oh, come on. Stop making this about you." But I didn't even glance at her. I grabbed my coat, lifted my chin, and walked toward the door. My mother's voice followed, sharp and dismissive. Don't turn your back on this family, Emily. But I didn't stop. For the first time in my life, I walked away, not from them, but from the chains they had wrapped around me. And as the door closed behind me, I felt something I hadn't in years. Freedom. At first, silence filled the weeks after that dinner. My parents called less, their voices stiff and shallow when they did. Conversations became small talk, weather, errands, anything but the elephant in the room. The distance stung, but it also brought a strange peace. For once, I wasn't bleeding myself dry for people who couldn't see me. And then the cracks in Olivia's perfect world began to show. Rumors trickled in through cousins, neighbors, even mutual friends. Olivia was cutting back. She'd missed payments on her car. The rooftop cocktails and spa trips vanished from her Instagram feed, replaced with vague captions about tight budgets and unexpected challenges. I didn't need to ask why. For the first time, Olivia was carrying the very weight she had claimed for years, and it was dragging her down. Part of me wanted to feel sorry for her, but mostly I felt a grim satisfaction. This was the life I had lived for years, quietly struggling, suffocating under bills, and she was crumbling after only a few months. Then one Saturday afternoon, my doorbell rang and I opened it to find Olivia. She looked nothing like the flawless sister my parents adored. Her hair was unkempt, her makeup smudged, her eyes hollow with exhaustion. "Can we talk?" she asked, her voice small. Against my better judgment, I let her in. She collapsed on my couch, her shoulders sagging. "I'm in trouble, Emily," she whispered. "I can't keep up anymore. I don't know what to do." Her hands trembled as she pressed them together. "I know I haven't been fair, but you're my sister. Please, I need your help." For the first time, the golden child looked human, weak, desperate, and I didn't feel sympathy. I felt anger. Olivia's voice cracked as she begged, her polished image stripped away. 4 years, she had been untouchable, the golden child, the untarnished savior. But here she was, slumped on my couch like a child who'd lost her way. "I can't do it anymore," she whispered, wiping at her face. "Please, Emily. Just a little help to get me through this month. I don't have anyone else to turn to." Her words cut like a twisted joke. After years of carrying her burden in silence, after being called selfish and invisible, now she came crawling to me. I leaned against the wall, arms crossed, my heart pounding with a mixture of rage and clarity. "That's not my problem anymore," I said flatly. Her eyes widened. "Emily, please. I know I messed up, but you're my sister. Doesn't that mean anything?" I laughed bitterly. "Messed up? Olivia, you lied. You let Mom and Dad believe you were paying while I starved myself to keep them afloat. And when I finally spoke up, you called me a liar. Now you want me to swoop in and save you." Tears welled in her eyes, but I didn't soften. "Not this time. If you really want my help," I said coldly, "start by telling Mom and Dad the truth. Admit what you've done." She flinched, her hands twisting in her lap. "I will. I promise. But please, just help me first. I'm drowning." I shook my head, my voice firm. "No. You don't get my help until you give them the truth. That's the price." For the first time in years, the roles had reversed. And Olivia wasn't the one in control anymore. The family reunion buzzed with laughter and clinking glasses. Cousins chased each other through the yard. Uncles argued over barbecue. And my parents sat proudly at the center, basking in the glow of their perfect daughter. I stood off to the side, arms crossed, watching Olivia squirm in her chair. She knew what was coming, because I'd made sure of it. When she finally tapped her glass, the chatter fell silent. All eyes turned to her, the golden child who never failed to deliver. Her hands trembled as she gripped the edge of the table, her face pale. I need to say something," she began, her voice unsteady. "For the past few years, everyone believed I was the one helping Mom and Dad with their bills. But that wasn't true." A ripple of confusion passed through the crowd. My mother's face pinched with disbelief. My father leaned forward, brow furrowed. "It was Emily," Olivia admitted, her voice cracking. "She's the one who's been paying. I let you all think it was me. I lied." Gasps echoed around the table. My mother's hand flew to her mouth, her eyes darting to me with tears brimming. "Emily, we didn't believe you. We called you a liar, Her voice broke. I am so sorry. My father crossed the room, his voice heavy with guilt. We failed you, Emily. We saw only what we wanted to see. You carried us, and we gave the credit to her. We don't deserve your forgiveness. Their apologies washed over me, raw and heavy. I dreamed of this moment, of finally being seen. But standing there, I realized something. I hadn't done this for them. I'd done it for me. And I wasn't sure their apologies could heal the years they ignored me. The reunion ended, but the echoes of Olivia's confession lingered. My mother clung to me with tearful apologies. My father spoke in hushed tones about making it up to me. But none of it sank in the way I once thought it would. Their remorse felt genuine, yes, but it couldn't erase years of blindness, years of believing I was nothing while they crowned Olivia their savior. I needed more than apologies. I needed peace. For weeks, I kept my distance. Calls from my parents became hesitant, careful, as if they were afraid of pushing me away again. And Olivia, she vanished. Until one Sunday, my phone buzzed with her name. I told them the truth, Emily. Now can you help me like we agreed? I stared at the screen, heat rising in my chest. Of course, she hadn't confessed out of guilt. She'd done it because she wanted something from me. I didn't reply. Not right away. Instead, I called my parents and asked them to meet. By the time Olivia arrived, I was already there, phone in hand. When she walked in, I showed them her message. This, I said calmly, is why she finally confessed. Not because it was right, but because she wanted money from me. My mom's face drained of color. My dad buried his face in his hands. Olivia froze, panic flashing across her eyes. I'm not giving you anything, I told her flatly. The truth was never a bargaining chip. It was something you owed us years ago. I won't reward you for finally doing the bare minimum. She dropped to her knees, tears streaking her face. Please, Emily. I don't know what else to do. I looked down at her, my once perfect sister, broken and desperate. That's not my problem anymore, I whispered. And as I walked out that door, leaving her cries behind me, I felt lighter than I ever had before. For the first time in my life, I was free.